Okay, real quick. I haven't done a tour of the hotel yet. I'm not really going to, but it looks like this. All my shit is everywhere. Getting ready to go to the Narrows. It's like 7:45. Um, got my waders right there. I got all my rest of my clothes right there. It's gonna be a good day. But legitimate pro tip to point out for everyone, because I saw people fucking this up in May. Like you're gonna be in the water. So put all your stuff in bags. Yeah, you got a bunch of emergency clothes. I got just like random junk food, but it's all sealed up. I got this little first aid kit. Hopefully, it should be watertight with this little seal in between. I got my spare battery in between here. I'm gonna, and this is might look stupid. Honestly, I think it's genius. I'm putting my phone in this Planters trail mix bag because it's got a seal at the top, and this thing is like thick plastic. It's going to be annoying to not be able to just carry my phone because it's wet, but do what I can. Seriously, if you ever come out here, either bring bags or just be prepared for that, or do what I do. Like this is the laundry bag from the dry cleaning thing. It's like with the ironing board. I have my flashlight in the ice box that you get at a hotel. It's like the little plastic bag. Yeah, just wrap that shit up. Yeah, it's really important to keep in mind because otherwise all of your stuff will get soaked. All right, see you from the Narrows. All right, before I head out, there's one thing, just because I'm putting this on the record to see how it works out. Like I was saying yesterday, the main concern is going to be cold and mainly hypothermia. If you get wet, you're going to die, which is why I've got all the backup clothes. But also, I'm opting for not necessarily like heavy clothing today. I've got like weatherproof pants. I've got some like quick dry legging things on underneath that. I'm just wearing this Under Armour. I'm not even gonna put anything on top of it because I feel like if it gets wet, it's just gonna stay wet and I don't want that. And then I just have this raincoat, which is like 100% weatherproof, but it's not insulated. That's why I show the inside here. So I'm opting for this over something like my puffy coat. Puffy coat gets real warm. It's also great to have this bright orange to be able to throw out in case you get lost, but it's like, this is just gonna get soaked. And I feel like going lightweight with a ton of layers with a bunch of this in case I need to swap things out, or just once I start sweating, which I'm definitely gonna do. I feel like I wanna start sweating right now. I'm not even doing anything. So yeah, we'll see how the lightweight setup goes. If you don't hear from me again, then it went really poorly, and this is gonna make a hilarious last video. So hopefully that's not the case. I'll see you later. Okay, I'm out here on the Riverside Walk. I drove up to the Temple of Sinawava, which I'm still unclear as to what the actual temple is. It's like, everything kind of looks like this. It's like, oh, the temple, you gotta see the temple. Nobody says that because nobody knows what the hell the temple is, but it is the name of the last stop. Walking alongside, it's literally called the Riverside Walk. It's like the easiest trail in the park. It's the Virgin River, or at least a tributary. I think it might actually be the Virgin River. I don't know. Maybe it's where it starts. Not sure. Got my waders on. Very flattering. I have the integrated boots, which it's gonna be great when I'm out there. Like when I fish in these, it's awesome. But it kind of sucks to have to hike. Like this is a mile hike just to get to the entrance of the Narrows, and it's the boots are slightly bigger than my feet, to the point where it's not going to rub and like give me blisters, but my feet are kind of floating. The intention was that I would be wearing gigantic socks when I wore these, which when I do that it works, but I mean I'm wearing pretty thick socks and my feet are still kind of like moving around in here, so whatever. It's not going to be an issue when I get in the water, because I'm not going to be moving like this. If I'm doing 3.3 in the Narrows, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good day. I'm going to do the whole damn thing if I can move at that pace. Probably not likely though. Goal for the day is not necessarily to do the whole thing. I'm already sitting in my room like planning my next trip out here. It's like 4.5 hours all the way to the end. And at the end, there are, I don't know, 5 campsites, like wilderness campsites that you can going on my eye here. You can get permits for it to do a day or like one night out there. So you get the permit, you hike 4.5 hours out through the Narrows, and then you stay overnight and come back, which would be awesome. And I also don't necessarily think there's going to be a huge amount of stuff between Wall Street, which is like the famous narrow part that everyone sees in pictures, and where the campsites begin. I think it's probably just going to be more of, I struggle to say more of the same because it's so unique, but it's all relative, right? So go out. It's probably going to be 3.5 hours out, 3.5 hours back. So it's 9 a.m. right now. It gets me back here at 4 p.m. Still have a couple hours of daylight, or at least like an hour and a half of decent daylight. Probably go to the lodge, eat some food, and call it a day. But it's also, if you continue to the campsites, it adds another like 2.5 hours onto your trip. So you got to keep in mind, if you walk out 20 more minutes, you're gonna have to walk back 20 more minutes. So it all adds up. I do really love, it's not floodplains, but at the bottom of the entire canyon, it turns into like everything else in the desert is just scraggly bushes and dust and rocks and whatnot. But at the bottom, it's like, it's amazing. It's green, it's lush, there's a river running through it. Like, you can really understand how, if you're a native and you discover this place, or you're a fucking Mormon pioneer coming out here and you run into this place, it's like, it's incredible. It's protected on both sides, pretty much protected on 3 sides. Someone can get down through the Narrows, and you've got this, what looks like fertile land by a river. It'd be incredible to colonize here. You just post up, put up all your tents, put up your yurts, live by the river growing maize or something. It's terrible that I say colonize and it feels like a dirty word. Like, if there's nothing here and natives come out here to, I mean, if there's nothing here, there aren't any natives, are there? So if there's nothing here and people show up, what are they doing other than colonizing it, even if there aren't other people here? I don't know. Fun times with semantics. On that note, I'm catching up to some people ahead of me who have decided to start going slower. So I'm gonna pass them, I'm gonna go to the Narrows, and I'll see you from there. Okay, real quick, I'm walking, just continuing along the path here, and I'm looking at the water that continues to look very picturesque, kind of silty mountain water. And I was gonna say, talking about the setting up camp here, there is the concern of the cyan toxoplasmosis, which is that brain-eating amoeba I was talking about. And I learned that is caused by the runoff from all of the ranches and farms nearby. Whatever it's the either the animal feces or the chemicals or things along those lines that drains down morning. It drains down through the canyon walls. Everything is like drippy most of the time. So you get all of that runoff and it becomes toxic. So unfortunately, like, I don't know whether that would have existed back in the day. My initial guess would be no. But at the same time, like, I can't help but look at this, knowing that it's probably hundreds of thousands of years of decomposing dinosaurs and other animals just pushed up and crushed into the walls. Like, there's always been things decomposing down into the water. Has that always been an issue? Or is it specifically because there's like a certain level of cow poop caused by humans ranching? I don't know. I'm sure if I looked it up, I'd get news on both sides. Seems to be how it goes. I'm sure that would be politicized somehow. Yeah. All right, on that note, I'm coming up to the end of the walk. I'm just gonna do a final gear check and see you from the water. Okay, I'm at the start of the Narrows. That's where the river walk ends. See, there's a couple other people out here with me. It literally just stops and then turns into water. So while it's really low, because at least from last time, this is the easiest part. I mean, I'm already in the water. It's gonna be the situation for the rest of the time. This part's really low, really easy. Hopefully it's like this the whole time. I'm not gonna keep my phone out because I don't want it to get fucked up. But more or less, that's what you can expect. Riverwalk takes you about 20 minutes and then just stops and turns into a creek bed, riverbed. I struggle to cross the river down here, but it is, and I've seen it when it's much more rivery. Flow rate, at least yesterday, was something like, I think like 45 cubic feet per second. When I did it last time, it was like 135. So it's a nice change of pace. You can see, looks like that. If you're crossing through the Narrows, this is what you're gonna look like. What's cool is, at least in the beginning, there's like these dry spots on the sides, depending on how high the water is. So you can kind of cross, walk around a little bit, cross again, walk around a little bit. I'm sure at the campsites at the end that I was talking about, it's just sort of like this. Just up out of the water, but along the water, which is why it would be so cool to camp there. Canyon just looks like this. That's a beautiful view. It's gonna get real narrow coming up when I hit Wall Street. So gonna look like this for the next, let's say, hour, probably get deeper. I'm not gonna film it because I need to put my phone away. See you from the Wall Street corridor, or maybe one of the waterfalls, who knows. Okay, I'm at one of the early bends. Some walls. It's a canyon. Back where I came from. I'm taking this just because it is wild to me, from having been here in May, how low the water is. Like, it's insane how low the water is. All of this was underwater. I just walked through a park that I can specifically remember. Like, I saw the rocks and I was like, holy shit, I remember having to do this when I couldn't see the rocks. Because it was like you had to kind of go up and over a little rock. And it's like, here I do it and I could see it, it's nice and dry. In May, it was completely underwater. You're feeling around with the stick, trying to find it. Wild. Water's come up to about my waist so far. Not in most of the areas. There's also this random black stuff, which I have to assume is the cyan toxoplasmosis. They do keep saying algae mats. And I mean, fuck. That looks like an algae mat to me. So I'm gonna stay the hell out of that. This comes up to, I don't know, upper thigh, mid thigh. It's like pockets of that, pockets of brain-eating amoebas, and then pockets of rocks. So now I'm back up, it's just up to my, whatever, ankles, shins, something like that. Integrated boots are fucking awesome. That is turning out to be a great decision. I don't have to worry about water slipping between. Don't have to worry about anything. Everything is connected and it's awesome. All right, I'm gonna stop this in a second because right here, it reminded me of the last thing. On the, on like the little map / tip book thing that I bought, like a pamphlet, it described walking here as walking on wet bowling balls, slippery bowling balls. And to be honest, that is such an apt description of this. It's wild. All of the rocks are super smooth because they just sit here with water running over them all year. And they are slippery. Speaking of moving water, you can see here, like these rocks on the side. I feel like it was up to like there-ish when I did this last time. But you can see the water just moves through and it carves out what it wants. It's very cool. Very difficult to walk on. All right, time to put this away and keep moving. Okay, I've been hiking for about 20 minutes and I think I've made it to the farthest point that I made it last time I was here. I took some pictures just to be able to compare the water levels because it is insane to me how low this feels compared to last time. Like it took me 20 minutes to get here. Last time this was like an hour and a half. Yes, there were people in front of me, which was annoying. So that was part of it. But also, I'm not fighting 135 cubic feet of fucking water. Look at that. You just gotta take it in. It's just great. I'd love to just like sit on this rock, hang out, eat some lunch. I got things to do, so I can't do that quite yet, but talk about a good place for meditation or just, I don't even know, contemplating existence. You're down here with the bones of millions of years of dinosaurs. Can't hear anything other than water. Yeah, I love it. Love being a part of it. One thing that's kind of neat up here, you can see the grooves, again, from water erosion going into the side of this. I mean, you got to imagine at some point a lot of this was underwater, if not all of it. Crazy. I'm gonna continue on. I'm gonna walk up that thing. I'm gonna go around the bend and see what there is to see. Two more quick things. One, the stick, invaluable. Like, if you got to pick one piece of gear other than your clothing to come out here with, it is the stick. Like, if I had attempted to do this without that, I would be in the water somewhere 15 minutes back. Like, you are walking on slippery bowling balls. And there's definitely a couple times where I would have fallen in if I didn't have this. The other thing is, I cannot get Myxomatosis out of my head by Radiohead because of this goddamn algae. And I know most of you probably don't know that song offhand, but I can't stop it from replaying over and over. But with cyan toxoplasmosis mixed in, doesn't quite work with the rhythm. If that's what you think Myxomatosis has, kind of hard to say it's got rhythm, but yeah. Oh, dude, look at this little bird. I haven't seen any wildlife down here. Oh my god, I'm so glad I just got that on video. Have you ever seen a little bird, like not a duck, not a fowl, like just a straight up bird take a jump and travel down the rapids? Oh, do it again, please. Where'd he go? Oh. There he goes. Oh, hey, little guy. Yeah. I'm looking at you and you're looking at me. I love that you go swimming. Oh man, that seriously is not going to get old for me. That's impressive. This water is kind of moving. It's not deep, but it's not slow either. He's diving for something. I can't imagine what. Diving for algae, I guess. That's incredible. I got to keep moving because otherwise I'll just sit here and watch this bird for entirely too long. Maybe on the way back if I see you when I got more time. Amazing. Okay, I've continued onward. This is what was around the bend, a lot of rocks. Gonna continue onward this way. Cliff face, turn. I had to take this because there is a fucking pine cone. What? Where'd a pine cone come from? That? Is that a pine tree? It's like I saw it and I was like, oh, a pine cone. And I was like, wait, a pine cone? Like, these guys aren't putting off pine cones? Is that, are those, okay, those are some evergreens, never mind. Maybe it just made its way down here. I don't know. It just kind of threw me off for a second because my temperate forest self was like, oh yeah, no, it's just a pine cone. It didn't register as anything. And I thought about it for a second. I'm like, this is not the place you'd expect that. kind of interesting. Man, it gets dark up there, and I'm pretty excited to see what's around the corner. Okay, I just talked to some dude back there. Can I zoom in? There we go. There he goes. He was coming out. It's like 10:10 right now. He said he's been here since 6, just setting up his tripod and taking pictures, which is cool. But he said that this curve, which I'm going around this way, and now I'm curving around to the right. Got to go around this big rock, which must have been pretty cool to watch fall off from up there. But he said this is the best that he's ever seen this. So we're going to see it together. Especially because I'm not in the water anymore. The water has so far, the highest water has come up to, I don't know, above my waist, not up to my chest completely, like halfway between. I guess I go back down this way. Gotta just skirt around the gigantic rock. Holy shit, that's impressive though. It really must have just broken off and then just come tumbling down. I feel like if one of those lands on me, like, that was destiny. Don't even feel bad if I get crushed by something like that, because that was the cosmic forces coming to get me. This is really cool though. Lots of rocks down here. It must have been like a rock slide or something. Earthquake, knock a bunch of rocks off. I don't know. Why would that have happened here and not anywhere else down there? Kind of cool. Yeah, like that water was just up to my hips. That's not bad at all. Plus, when it gets deeper, it tends to not be as moving as quickly, so it's actually easier to walk in than the rapids. The rapids just have so many slippery rocks and fast-moving water. They just add up. Be a nice picture. Kind of interesting lighting with the trees. Huh. It's funny because the trees are in the dark and the sun is just behind them. That's what's causing that effect. Interesting. I like that. All right, keep moving. The guy I talked to said I was only the third person he's seen since 6 a.m., which means theoretically there's 2 people ahead of me. Unless they, I don't know, turned around and left. So that's kind of my expectation. The 2 people that were behind me continue to be behind me. Not close, but they're still making their way. It's good because it's like, I don't mind when there's other people out here enjoying the park that should be out here enjoying the park. I do mind when it takes an hour and a half for me to walk somewhere that I could do in 40 minutes, not even 20 minutes, because I'm stuck behind a whole bunch of people who shouldn't be out here. But like running into other adventurers out here, it's awesome. I love it. That's really cool. It's gonna be where I hide if there's a flash flood. Right in that hole in the back there. Wow, that's awesome. Right, let me just not fall real quick and then I'll get a better look into that. Oh, dude. All right, let's go check out some caves. Then we're gonna go that way. Amazing. I at least got to get this. Like, the landscape just doesn't do it justice. Figure out how to make that not annoying in editing. If I get eaten by a mountain lion, well, it's been real. Oh, dude, that's the fucking. Let me see. A bunch of algae down there. I'm washing all of this shit off when I get back. I'm just too concerned about that now that I know it exists. In all seriousness, yo, is that actually a cave? Man, I can't help myself. This is stupid. I was just reading the Nameless City by Lovecraft last night, The dude just keeps going deeper and deeper, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop going deeper into this cave. Probably is. But you could legitimately, if you needed to survive out here through the night, you post up there, they keep the water off of you. Even if it flash floods, like that's just gonna go that way, you'd be good. You'd be good. I'm not gonna go up, I'm not gonna go up because it seems like it's just crumbly and potentially goes down into a deeper crevasse. And I'm not fucking around with that. I don't need to end up like, this is nice. This is best conditions possible. No need to go spelunking in the middle of the trip. All right, crossing again. Yeah, beautiful. It really sucks that this water is toxic because it's really nice. I don't know whether that guy was just saying like this was just really nice. I mean, it is nice, but maybe he meant around the next corner. Like, it is really nice, but it's also kind of like everything else. I was going to go around, but there wasn't a way. I don't know if I showed that on the camera. So I turned around and came back on the water. All right, well, we'll see what's around this corner. Okay, it's getting pretty narrow up here, so maybe it is right up here. Anyway, all right, I can't hold it. Can't hold it vertically easily. That being real annoying. But you can see I'm now getting both cliff walls in the landscape mode. Oh man, it is right here. All right, I'm not looking at the camera, so hopefully I'm getting good footage. Awesome. It's actually something I should mention. Like, it annoys me when people are just looking at these things through their camera. I'm not. This is like by my chin. I'm just walking and looking myself. Really, it's cool to look up and just, it's what you got. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, he probably meant this. Okay, yeah, he meant this. Yeah. That's where I'm going. It never gets old just seeing the erosion from like how much water used to come through here. Really incredible. All right, well, I'm gonna just walk, get to the other side of this, and then turn this back on. Okay, made it to the other side of that. I just say of that. I don't have to deal with that in editing, whatever. Just didn't want to slip on the rocks. And I just need to sit here and take it in sometimes. Slot Canyon going off to the right. Look. There are always a ton of these, like on the map. I don't know which one that is. I'll try to figure that out later while I'm eating dinner. There is a place where there's a junction. I doubt it was that, but honestly it could have been. More rocks that are very clearly just eroded. It doesn't get old. Like I'm standing at what used to be the bottom of the ocean. Like that's fucking wild.
be someone in a million years at the bottom of the Mariana Trench going, oh, this used to be all underwater. You can see where it used to be. Before the fucking microplastics took over. Whatever. Alright. Just gonna show you this. And then I'm gonna turn this off and walk it and take it in. It's incredible. Okay, I've continued onwards a little bit. I'm standing in like waist deep water just because this seemed to be the spot to take a picture. So I just took a bunch of those. I came around the corner and you finally see the sun again. It's been pretty dark back there. Yeah, it is very much what you think of when you think of the Narrows. Like, it's on both sides. There's the water, there's little rapids. Get the fuck. Holy shit, I was stuck for a second there. Alright, you can see where I just unstuck myself from down in this hole. God damn, that would be a way to go. Not a good one. Moral of the story is keep it moving, I guess. Alright. I mean, it looks like this, so I'm not going to keep filming, but it is incredible. I really cannot recommend this enough, assuming you've got the capabilities of doing this. And honestly, on a day like today, it's not that bad, but you'd still have to be pretty prepared for this and in pretty decent shape. So if you are, man, book your trip right now. You're not going to be able to beat this anywhere else. I do really need to point out, like, there's where the water is. And, like, there's, like, the standard water line. That's 4 feet, 4.5 feet. So you can see the green. Keep an eye on the green on the side. Where I'm at, where the water's at. I mean, I'm in this shallow water. And then, like, how high it could be. If this was up to here, it would easily be up to my waist, like my stomach, mid-torso sort of area. I mean, I'm 6 feet tall, so if you're short and you come out here and you're trying to deal with that, you're kind of fucked. I think about that quite a bit when people talk about people being privileged and whatnot. Like, as far as I'm concerned, being a 6 foot tall man gives me a hell of a lot of privilege when it comes to experiencing the outdoors. Because if you're a short woman, you're not going to have the same musculature. You're not going to have the height. You're going to be up to your torso in this, whereas I'm up to my knees. Like, it would just suck. I feel legitimately bad for people who have to deal with that. Because, man, does it make it a whole lot easier. Plus, if you're a single dude in a park wandering around by yourself, like, you're the person people are concerned about. Not the tiny little women. They're concerned about your giant ass walking around. So safety, muscles, and height to stay out of the water? Yeah, I'll take that all day. I'm just giving you a little bit more of some walking and talking. Get back to my roots for a second here. Oh, damn, it does get deep in some of these spots though. Oh, fish! Holy shit, there's fish in here. I know it sounds stupid, but it's like, where would they have come from? Fell off the cliff? Like, this isn't being fed into by lakes and things. How the hell did that happen? I mean, I guess fish just go over a waterfall, end up trapped down here in the canyons. I'm really curious about what that was. Like, offhand, it looked like a trout. Like, it looked like it, yeah, I don't know, brook trout, something like that. Could have just been, I don't know, smallmouth, largemouth bass. Probably smallmouth bass, didn't really look like a largemouth bass. Very cool. Seeing all sorts of animals. I was looking at the, ooh. Shut up for a second, I can see the sky again. Again, if I didn't have the stick, doing things like that would be very difficult without falling in. I don't know if I mentioned, but last time I was here, I did fall in. I definitely just slipped right on one of those rocks. I had a stick, so happens either way. But I did straight up go down. I wasn't wearing a dry suit at the time, and it was warm, so it didn't really matter, but I got wet. Also, like I was showing the hole back there, there are still those holes. Like the rest of this can be real shallow, and then all of a sudden it'll be just like feet deep. Which now, since it's all shallow, isn't that bad. But when it was deep, it was kind of concerning. I stopped right here because check this out. It's kind of neat looking. Haven't seen a lot of active vegetation. Sit up on that rock, do some yoga out here with nature. I don't know, something like that. I don't know how to do yoga. And I'm too ADD to just sit here. I say these things because it's like, oh, I can picture other people doing that. I'm not going to. I'm gonna climb over this in my fucking waders that are not meant for climbing over trees. Up and over. Yeah. Why am I zoomed in so far? There. Again, being a 6 foot tall dude, I just stepped over that. You're not doing that if you're 4'10". If you're 4'10", you could probably get one of those like RC boats and just sail your ass up here. It's always things like this too, where it's just like random obstacles. This, I guess, is a stump. I'm even petrified. Let's see. I mean, that seems really solid. That's what they call hardwood. But it's like these random obstacles where my one leg is down here in the water. I'm gonna step up and over, but then it gets shallow again. It's always just a matter of like, what is the best way for getting over? Pretty neat. All right, flip it for a second, get a little bit better view. You can see what I'm about to walk down. It's gonna look like this. I'm gonna put the phone away and go do that. See it from the other side. Man, I'm out here taking pictures of myself. Just moral of the story is don't be out here taking pictures of yourself. I dropped my stick in the water. Now it's all wet. Disappointing. This is not disappointing though, so time to head off with my now wet stick. Here's something cool. I was hearing this noise and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I feel like it's feeding into the water, like, and I was talking earlier about where the water for the Narrows comes from. Like that's bubbling up from somewhere. I mean, you could see the crack goes all the way down. So it's probably water just dripping down somewhere back behind that. Really interesting. All right, onwards. Okay, so far this has been pretty easy. I mean, it's tiresome. You're just walking in water most of the time, but it hasn't been like difficult. This part, I just came from down there. Where that log is, that's It's got to be like 8 to 10 feet deep. So I had to like sneak around this rock, climb up and over, then climb along this, which doesn't look terrible, but that is all algae. And then if you fuck it up, you just fall right into the river. I'm going to attempt probably on the way back to stick to the right, but I know that on the other side of that, there's like a 6-foot drop, which is why I didn't go up on that side. It wasn't necessarily viable. Whew. Awesome. Man, I love when stuff gets difficult like that. That would legitimately prevent a lot of people from continuing on. And I fucking love it. Up and over. On to doing the same thing with this. Okay, it's probably been, man, I'm looking good here. Sarcasm. It's been probably like an hour since I took a last video. It's probably like 11:30 at this point. So getting along in terms of time. I do think, first of all, I found these cool waterfalls. It's kind of a neat area right here. I do think behind me that way though, I finally made it to the intersection. So I'm gonna go around that corner and see what there is, and I'm gonna take you with me. All right, again, back where I came from. The last hour was pretty much the same stuff that you guys saw going forward. My hands got wet because I slipped on some rocks. Got pretty deep at some points. Beautiful. So let's see what there is up ahead. I need to put my other glove back on. Okay, my other glove is soaking wet, so I'm not going to put that on. That's just going to go in my waders for now. Colder with the gloves than not with the gloves. There we go, color correct. Really nice. Really kind of calm right here. The reason why I think this is where the intersection is going to be is from, like, it just kind of looked like I could see it going to the left and the right. So like I'm gonna want to stick to the left, which very potentially goes down there. I don't know. Or I keep going this way. It's just got really foresty too. Like this one section, it hasn't been like this. Wonder why so many trees have been able to like take root in this specific spot. I mean, it is one of the few spots with sunlight. Actual sunlight, not just like sun bouncing off some canyon walls. Shit, I need to consult the map. All right, hang on. Okay, I was wrong. That wasn't the turnoff, which is kind of unfortunate. Only so unfortunate that it just means I spend more time out here. So I'm going to head in that direction. I mean, I gotta be getting close. I've been going for 3 hours at this point, maybe a little more. So gotta be close. All right, for posterity, I haven't come across what appears to be the junction yet, but I have hit one of the campsites, which I thought were all past the Wall Street corridor to the north. I mean, the sun's over there somewhere, which makes me think that that is west. It is a little past noon at this point. It's just interesting. Didn't expect to run into this here. I do expect to be going north again though. So if that doesn't happen in the next half hour to hour, I'm probably just gonna turn around because I don't want to fuck around too much. But I really hope I hit that because it should be coming up. It should be here. If I had my bigger map, which I didn't bring because I was worried it'd get ruined in the water, I'd be able to tell where Site 11 is, so definitely gonna have to check that when I'm done. All right, onward. Okay, that's back the way I came. You can see the sun still hitting the wall over there, which means it's going from west to east, which means when you turn left at that, you are then going north, which is the direction I wanted to be going, according to the map. So I've turned back around this way, or I've turned north, and I'm heading this way, and I'm pretty sure I've actually found it. So it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but I think at the end here, it goes left and it goes right. I say that because it looks like there are cliffs that go up and to the left, and also cliffs that, or up and to the right, and cliffs that also go up and to the left. So let's go check it out. Really nice that the water's so low right here. I could see this being a hassle if the water was 4 feet higher. But it's not, so it's easy. I'm definitely getting a blister on my right big toe, so that's fun. I can feel that developing. I'm gonna have 6 toes on that foot by the time I get done. God damn. My nose is also itchy, but I always worry about itching it with these wet gloves because that's how I'm gonna get the brain-eating amoebas up in my nose. Trying to avoid that. Most noticeable thing about being in this junction, it's the something junction. I'll put the word up when I look it up later. I do some editing. Yeah, it absolutely is this. As you can see, that goes to the right, that goes to the left. To the right, it goes up a little ways, and then it just stops. I don't know what sort of stop there is. It does just say on the map, like, you can't walk any further. But I don't know what that means, whether you're just not supposed to, or whether you hit a wall. Looking at the map, it kind of looks like the canyon continues, so honestly, I'm kind of a loss for that. I don't have an explanation. And I don't have time to go check it out, at least not right now. Maybe on the way back, depending. So, I'm going to go that way. This should be the Wall Street corridor. I think that's what you tend to see pictures of when you look up pictures of the Narrows. It's the very narrow part with very smooth walls on both sides. I mean, smooth walls on both sides everywhere you go. It's just going to be more narrow. I'll show it to you on the map. The main thing that I remember from the map is that it says once you're in here, there's no escape from flash floods. So, not a cloud in the sky. Today's the day to do it. Let's see what it's like. Okay, I'm on my way towards the Wall Street corridor. I just had to stop because this is probably one of the last places where I'm going to get actual sunlight. It gets pretty dark down there. Definitely dark back where I just came from. So I figured if you're going to take a break, do it in the sun. It'll be kind of nice. My gloves are drying out a little bit down there. Consulting the map to just make sure that things are going as planned. So I'll show you. First off, the reason why I'm also taking this video is, like, I'm going to shut up for a second and just kind of let you experience what I'm experiencing here real quick. I mean, it really doesn't get any better than that for me. Like I just said, I did come back from that area. You can't really see much. It's the side of a canyon. Yeah, just giving my legs a little break. I was wrong earlier about my time. So for some reason, I looked at 11:30 on my clock and thought that was 3 hours, but it wasn't. That's actually 2 hours. So it's like 12:15 right now. Theoretically, like according to the map here, we got the map, which, all right, that's not the good way to do this. So looking down here, this is the junction that I just came from. So you start down here, you go up all this, blah, 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 hour and 20 minutes. So they're saying 2 hours, 20 minutes to get into here. I don't know whether there's less obstacles when they made this in 2023, is what the date on this map says. But it's I'm probably about where it says a good turnaround point, and it's been about 3 hours. So either I'm just slower than whoever was on this. Tends not to be the case. That is called Orderville Canyon Junction, the thing that I just went through, you guys saw. But you can see also the no flash flood escape in Wall Street corridor. That's like this brown marking here. So I'm like here. It says there's a 135-foot seasonal waterfall. I don't know, I'm at least going to go up to that. I might just go all the way up to this. We're gonna see how it looks, but I'm gonna eat some food real quick and then I'm gonna get back to moving. headed in that direction. Really can't beat this. Literally all I did was eat some beef jerky. I'm still kind of eating it. And like, it's already in the dark. Sun's already moved far enough away. Man, that's why you gotta be prepared for the timing of this. That's why I'm paying so much attention to the clock, because like it's gonna get dark and fucking cold out here real quick. Not that it isn't already cold. I know I'm not complaining about that because I'm moving and I'm warm, but like I can't sit still for too long because it is freezing down here. The lightweight gear was definitely the way to go because when I'm moving, I'm fine, but it's definitely not just sit in the shade clothes. Yeah. Time to put these wet gloves back on and keep moving. All right, I've walked probably like 15 minutes, not very far. But I'll be honest, like according to the map, I'm in the corridor, which makes sense because if there was a flash flood, you would be fucked. Like, there's nowhere to escape to on the sides. At least there were like nooks and crannies coming up here. Not here. I was scoping out where I was gonna wedge myself between some rocks if a flash flood happened. Up here, you basically scramble up to the base of that rock. God, hope for the best. Not that I'm concerned about that, but there's a lot of times of the year that you have to be concerned about that. And this would be a pretty sketchy place to be. It's really a lot of vegetation down here. A lot of like seaweed looking things that I'm assuming are underwater most of the time. This. It's all pushed down in that direction, which is kind of cool from the current and probably the flooding. But it's not what I expected. What I was expecting was I will put a picture of it. Like if you Google the Narrows, you're gonna see pictures of places that either exist somewhere else or are heavily modified or like taken by real estate agents. So it's like the very specific angle that makes it look like your kitchen isn't in your bathroom. Because you'll see pictures where it makes it look super narrow, like shoulder to shoulder, walking in some water. Which I don't necessarily need to see that, but like if it is real, then I would like to. And the further I get out here, and the more I go through places that look exactly like that, but wider, it just makes me think that it's all like photo manipulation, which would really bum me out. Not the fact that I couldn't see them in real life, but the fact that people feel the need to make places like this, I don't know, you put up pictures that don't actually represent how amazing it is. Like, I guess this isn't picturesque because it looks like 4,000 flash floods have come through in the past year. But it's like, this is what's out here. This is what you're gonna see. And I'm headed in the way of like where you would camp. I don't know. It's along the lines of why I don't edit any of my my photos or like apply filters to anything. It's like, what does anyone get out of representing this differently than how it really is? Like, this is it. That's what it looks like. You want to come up here and hike? That's what you're going to be doing. It's really cool. That tree is really cool. Haven't come across that waterfall yet. And honestly, it might just be a trickle. It might not even exist. It says seasonally and doesn't say what season. So, that's one thing. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it right here. Yeah. I need to go before I sink in the water. What is that? Oh, it's just a rock. I thought it was like an oyster. All right, I gotta put the phone away from this and I'm just gonna keep walking and let you know if I see anything cool. There's a lot more bouldering involved than anyone mentions. Like, yes, there's the water and the hiking in the water, blah, blah, blah. You're gonna be hiking in water, like that's inevitable. But you're also gonna be climbing over a lot of rocks. So maybe up there's easier, I don't think so. Yeah, just be prepared for that. All right, that's continuing down Wall Street corridor. It's like 1:10, which means by the time I get back, it's gonna be 4:30. I think it's probably smart for me to start making moves. It's just, I mean, it's a canyon. It's cool, but it's a canyon. If I continued this way, I would get to the campsites. I think they're up here because it seems to run out of water, at least when the water is low. Because I mean, the water stopped back there. And I came up here and it's just, there's nothing. So I don't know whether it starts back up again, but this is potentially just going to be hiking on rocks. And every step forward means another step backwards that I have to make. So probably calling it right here. That said, it is so insanely quiet, it's incredible. And not like this will do it justice over the recording. You're gonna be like, man, it's just silence. I could just hit mute and have the same thing. But you can't normally do that with the outside. Has occurred to me, especially with here it's a little open, but like in some of these narrow canyons, if you stayed overnight, like it's gotta get dark, like crazy dark down here. You're gonna have a narrow view of some stars, probably not the moon, and just darkness. Like, it's probably pretty cool, but it's definitely it's gotta be pretty much complete. Been a good day. Looking forward to a hot drink and a sandwich at the restaurant. I feel like I've earned that. And I can't act like I'm done because I've got 3.5 hours ahead of me doing the same thing backwards. So if I see anything cool on the way back, I'll let you know. Otherwise, thanks for watching my adventure here. It's been a good day. Should be hopefully some more cool stuff to see the next couple of days. We'll have to plan that when I get back too. There was something cool. So a lot of the water obviously has been moving, and you can't get a good idea for how cold it is out here, but like, that is frozen. And like, I'm not being gentle with that. Yeah, that should hopefully, I mean, this is frozen. I'm on the sand and I can't move it. Can't even leave footprints in it. Because all of the wet sand is frozen solid. Like it is definitely cold out here. But again, no bad weather, only bad gear. Okay, one thing I will say is that going back, or at least with the sun going down, it's starting to peek over a little bit more. It is so bright trying to look down in these rapids. Like I didn't bring my sunglasses because I thought it was gonna be dark the whole time in here. It's like making me cry. It's so bright when I turn around. Yeah. Not a thing I thought I was gonna be dealing with today, but there you go, now you know. Okay, so as I make this 3-hour walk back, whatever it is at this point, haven't gone too far, but I'm past the junction. I'm making moves. Just walking around thinking about things, and the main thing is, like, this is a bucket list item for me, doing the Narrows. And I know I'm not done yet because I got to make it back without dying, but I'm feeling pretty confident about that. So I'm feeling like, if nothing else, I've pretty much done this, which is amazing. It's incredible. I'm gonna get down there, I'm not sure. But it makes me think, like, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna have to plan some other things. I've already got some basic ideas for what I'm gonna do here in the rest of the park for the next 2 days. But overall, like, I'm just gonna have to make moves towards whatever my next goal is. Which I couldn't tell you what that is offhand. probably just work on my land back at home, but at the same time, like, that's not a bucket list item. That's just like what I'm probably going to be doing for a bit. So this was like, I don't know, number 3. It's definitely top 5. Not top 2 though. I'd say it probably was like the 3rd item on my bucket list. Now it's done. And it makes me think of, like, this is the Wednesday having followed the Super Bowl. Okay, this Rocky. Sorry, I also keep scratching my head. That's what I'm doing when the camera does that. I'm just using this hand. This hand's holding the stick. Come back to the stick comment in a second. But the Super Bowl was on Sunday, this past Sunday. The whole thing getting stuck in PHL. Yeah. So, like, they were interviewing Jalen Hurts, the Eagles quarterback, if you don't know. He was MVP of the game, just had a great game. Great season, great player. Awesome. But, like, and they were talking about how since he had lost the previous Super Bowl against the Chiefs, like, that was his driving motivation. He had a picture of, like, the Chiefs confetti. Like, fuck, this isn't the right way. I gotta get back down to the river. Walking through the things. But, like, that was his motivation. That's what he's had his eye on that for at least the past couple of years. I mean, let's be honest. It's a Super Bowl win for a football player. He's probably had his eye on that for his entire life. That is, like, probably the goal he has been working towards for forever. And, like, they were interviewing him, and, like, I don't know, to me, he had this look of kind of, I guess, confusion, or just like, what do you do now that it's over? Like, what's your goal? You just did it. Congrats. Now it's done. You've been locked in for years, if not just the past 2 weeks of nonstop boom, boom, boom. You gotta win, you training, blah, blah, blah. Like, and then you just, hey, turn it off. You won. Congrats, it's over. Like, I don't think he said anything like this, and it's not like I've been watching all the interviews. I've been traveling. But he had this look to me of being kind of lost. Like, he had won, he was smiling, but it was like, I don't want to say that he had the look of, is this it? But that's how it felt to me. Was him looking around, like, he was smiling, he was happy, but, like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like you set goals for yourself. At least I set goals for myself. A lot of people do. I feel like it's an important thing to do. If I didn't have any goals, I wouldn't do anything. I always need something to be working towards. But, like, when you accomplish those goals, especially if you built it up to be something in your head that it ends up not being, which thankfully this hasn't been. This has been just as fucking awesome as I expected it to be. Like, this whole time that I'm talking, I'm walking through rapids. I'm walking through rapids by myself with the stick in the cold. God damn, I love this. This is my element. And this has been just as awesome as I expected it to be. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna camp at some point. But it doesn't need to be in the next couple years. It's just now that's on the list. Oh, hey, speaking of which, I made it back to Site 11. Let's see. Site 11. I didn't actually show it last time. That's Site 11. It's where you put your tent. It's really the extent of it. Poop in a bag and carry it back out with you. Have fun. So, I'm going to definitely at some point come back and camp up there. Just if for no other reason other than give me an excuse to actually finish that walk. Like, there wasn't going to be anything necessarily worth seeing. I shouldn't say it that way. There wasn't going to be anything that I haven't seen if I had continued moving forward. But I still would like to have a reason to go back and finish that. Spend the night, just experience what that is like. The darkness, whatever it sounds like out here. It might be cool, it might be real quiet, might get some weird coyote noises or something, who knows. But But it's like, for me, now that's checked off. The next real thing I have on my list is Cambodia. And I've been putting it off because I just don't feel like spending that much time flying and traveling. I'll tell you, this has really put it into perspective though, because it took me 26 hours of straight up traveling to get to fucking Utah, let alone going to Cambodia. Fly into Phnom Penh in like 18 hours. Yeah. So I guess I have to plan that next, but it's like, I don't know. The thing about goals is you always feel, you never know how you're going to feel when you complete your goals, is really the purpose of the last 3 minutes of rambling. I'm glad that I am happy with what I've accomplished here. I think I'm glad to be walking in the water right now and just capable of that and getting to experience it. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And when that happens, you just make new goals. Go achieve something else. Not like there's any limit to the amount of ways that you can experience new things or grow as a person. Just a matter of picking one and working towards it. And sometimes it sucks what you got to go through to get to there. Like the 26 hours of traveling, like all of the walking I've been doing. I mean, I've been seriously training for this. At least for the past month, you could say it was serious, but I don't ever stop training for this sort of thing because I know that I want to do it. But you get a goal. You set your eyes on the prize. Prize might be Rapids, prize might be the Super Bowl, prize might be whatever, something nearby. You're just gonna check out a local park. You're gonna go make friends with a neighbor, just anything. Set those goals, achieve those goals. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yeah, get out there and fucking do it. Oh, and one more thing, just to add to it. Don't put this sort of thing off until you're retired. Don't be like, oh, when I'm 65, I'll come out and do the fucking Narrows. No, you won't. No, you won't. You want to see what this is like? You get a babysitter and you come out here and you do it. And you should come out here and do it. So, on that note, thank you guys for watching. I really legitimately appreciate everyone who watches this. It kind of feels like I get to experience it with you. So, yeah, thank you. See you at the next trip. Here's something cool. Here's a tree growing out of the cliff wall. But it's honestly, it's kind of like hydroponics, where it just gets water all day directly on the roots. Like it's holding itself in to that crack there. But it's not like there's soil in there for it to dig into, so it's just living off of the dripping water, which is coming from the top, which also looks like this is vines, these are roots for that plant right there, which I'm sure are just absorbing the water as the water drips over them. Life finds a way. This is actually later in the day. I'm on my way back, but just for clarity, behind me is what I'm referring to in terms of what everyone expects to see. Like when you look up pictures of this place or just what people think of, it's what I tend to think of. It's what seems to be what's advertised most of the time. If you Google that right now, you're gonna see this sort of area. So I'm gonna walk it and give you an actual understanding of what this looks like, as opposed to what I have come to think of as not accurate photos. Kind of misleading to try to get you to come see a place that doesn't exist. Not that this isn't cool, but it's like, why would you do that? Because this is really cool. You could just represent it the way that it actually exists, and yeah, it would still be just as cool. But I digress. Let's do some walking. Yeah, see, doing this landscape really is a lot. I guess I've just gotten used to doing it in landscape as opposed to portrait. This is portrait and it's annoying. But I don't know how else to give you a view of just how narrow it is and like what the walls look like. I say just how narrow it is. I'm gonna go to the middle here. So I'm in the middle, more or less. That space over there, that space over there. It's not gonna be shoulder to shoulder. Like, you don't have to squeeze through anything. This seems to be the narrowest part because I've already walked through here. Yeah. Just, I'm gonna have to find some pictures and put them up in between me talking so you can see what I'm talking about. But you probably already know if you've ever looked this place up. They make it look a very specific way. Like, everyone turning a corner must be how they do it. Like, go around the bend and then just take the picture so it looks like the other wall is right next to you. But like, that looks kind of narrow at the end there. It's still gonna be 25 yards across, something like that. Huh. I don't know. Or maybe it's just somewhere. It can't be all the way at the end. There's no way everyone is making that trek 4.5 hours down to see that. It's got to be this. It really does. And I guess the camera, it does look narrow looking at it through my phone. So maybe it's just inadvertently how the place is going to look. I just know that they try to, I don't know, market these places. Everything's about advertising and making it look better than it really is, which just kind of annoys me because this is incredible. It doesn't need any touch-ups. All right, I'm just going to continue on. Okay, I'm still making my way back. This is just the after credits, post credits scene. Making my way back. I'm probably still got an hour, but I'm taking this because I ran into someone else who, it is now 3 p.m. It's going to take me an hour to get back, most likely, if not slightly longer. It's getting pretty dark in the canyon. And the sun's definitely on its way down. But this guy I ran into maybe 15, 20 minutes ago. I'm trying to think of a nice way to describe him. That's not just fucking moron. Because he's out here in like gym shorts and sneakers and a long sleeve t-shirt and like one of those drawstring backpacks. And like, why the fuck would that be what you're wearing out here? Unless you're too poor to afford other clothes, like, that's just stupid. It's cold out here and it's about to get dark and you're gonna be wet and cold in the dark. He even said to me, he was like, oh yeah, I gotta keep it moving because I don't want to run out of daylight. Like, motherfucker, where do you think we are? Look at this. It's not necessarily bright out here. But the funny thing was, he goes, where's the, let me move my fingers. He goes, where's the part where it gets like really narrow? And I laughed because I had just finished like saying all that stuff. I was like, man, it doesn't get narrow like that. But what you're looking for is probably 15 minutes up ahead. And I could tell he didn't believe me. I was like, I've been in the park for like 6.5 hours and I haven't come across anything that is super narrow like they show you in the photos, because that doesn't seem to exist. So he's off to go find that, which he's gonna be sorely disappointed because now I'm like 40 minutes away from where we had that interaction. This part is just as narrow as it was down in the Narrows. So yeah, something to be aware of. If you do come out here, like I've been thinking about it, my recommendation is plan on doing 2.5 hours out. You'll see everything you need to see. So a 5-hour round trip. You'll get to climb over some stuff. You'll get to walk around the water like this. And you'll get your Narrows experience. You'll get to see narrow corridors like this. And you won't you won't end up having to spend 8 hours walking around here. Not that it's a problem for me, but I know a lot of you probably wouldn't want to spend a week in one park, and you'd have other things to do. So that is my, I don't know, that's my pro tip now. So good luck. And also, if that dude makes the news, like, he sure as fuck shouldn't have gone out there. I told him not to go to the junction. I was like, listen, even if you make it to there, like, I don't recommend the junction. You're not going to make it there in time to get back. Who knows if he'll listen to that. If not, well, I'll be the last person to ever see him. So, yeah, good times.